Hello and good afternoon, everyone, first of all. And I welcome you all to another episode of Coffee Conversation, powered by the Emerging India Forum, TEIF. And today we have with us Mr. Manpreet Singh, that is the President of Indian Chamber of International Business and an established entrepreneur. And the host for today's event and conversation are Mr. Mansoor Thakral, sir, and I, Khushbhoo Kharbanda. I welcome you on behalf of Team TEIF, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, sir. So without wasting any time further, let's begin with today's series that is based on my business, my profession, and my growth. And the topic for today's conversation would be that is the do's and don'ts for a successful secret of entrepreneurship. So before we start, I would like to share about the journey of Mr. Manpreet Singh with everyone. He did his business management from IIM Bangalore, chemical engineering from MGM College of Engineering, Mumbai, mechatronics from IIT Mumbai continuing education program, paint and coating specialization from IIT Mumbai, cheminformatics from University of Amsterdam, Netherlands. He also has an intellectual property certification from World Intellectual Property Organization, Geneva. Not only this, he has been instrumental with various government and private bodies for promotion of bilateral trade and commerce, international trade, and exchange in various sectors, including footwear and apparel, agriculture, engineering items, media, fashion, with special focus on MSME companies. That's like a lot of achievement that we have heard about Manpreet sir. And also his work experience includes, he is the global consultant for the PPP projects from July 2014 till date. And he is also the CEO of Sunny Enterprises from the year April 2008 till date. I again welcome you, sir, on behalf of the entire team, and we are very impressed with all the achievements that you have till now. And we really look forward to having a good and interesting conversation forward with you.
Khushbhoo, thank you so much. You didn't have to read everything, literally.
Because actually that's for the audience, and that's how I guess the audience will get motivated about hearing how your life and journey and experiences have been.
Thank you so much.
So I request now Mr. Mansoor sir to take forward the conversation.
All right, thank you, Khushbhoo. ठीक है, चलो मनप्रीत सर फिर शुरू करते हैं हमारी conversations.
Of course.
All right. So, Mr. Manpreet, हमें जानना चाहते हैं, like we want to know, now we have got to know like you're into so many things, education background जान लिया, सब कुछ जान लिया आपके बारे में. So tell us something a little bit about yourself on a professional front that like not many people know about you.
Not well, honestly speaking, it is a very difficult question because I'm more like an open book, and if you ask me what people don't know about me, ऐसी बहुत कम चीजें होंगी because I am a very friendly person, very open person. Whenever you meet me, I'm the same that you must have met me 10 years ago or even 20 years ago. So I think that is a very rare thing that anybody would be able to say about me. So very much like an open book.
All right. Okay. So we know that you're the president of the Indian Chambers of International Business. So could you please tell us exactly about this association, what it exactly does?
Well, basically the Indian Chamber of International Business, or ICIB as we call it, it is an organization for small and medium businesses. But that being said, not necessarily only small and medium businesses. We have some large corporates, some listed companies that are also part of our members. But that helps us to engage these small and medium companies and mentor them to grow also. So the organization is spread across 42 countries and 12 states. And our main forte is international relations. How we focus on taking the Indian companies global. So that being said, that can be by means of imports, exports, joint ventures, technical collaborations. Not only in trade and commerce, we are all about people to people contact. So the organization ensures that you might be in any business, for example, even education and culture. So cultural events, cultural activities are also business, which very few people realize. Education is also a business. People say, no, education is not our sector. We are not teachers or professors, but it's a business. It's a business. The colleges are having a business. The institutions that support it are a business. So that itself is a business. So we support Indian institutes partnering with foreign ones and vice versa, having joint programs, engaging students to learn how to assimilate better into foreign society, what Indian culture, that you're a representative of the Indian culture and society abroad. how to handle that and represent yourself and your country, and vice versa also, how to project yourself. So these are also part of the people to people relations that we've been doing. So it's a very interesting thing that we do in addition to the trade and commerce purely. And that was what we've been doing. Like for example, I'll give you an example where we have like a opera singer from one country coming and a Kathak dancer, and both of them engage with
Okay.
each other, and they talk, and people are
Yes.
listening. I mean, that has got nothing to do with the actual trade or business. But you'll be surprised that after that, people got more interested in that particular country, and then they asked, "Okay, let's go and do something there."
Right.
So, once you are engaging with the people, the business always follows.
All right. So basically, you're like trying to say the Indian Chamber of International Business is more about like a people kind of a thing, right? Than more of
Right.
a business. I mean, that's the thing what's coming up in mind, like as you've just mentioned about the artists and everything. Okay, so like that's a very beautiful thought that you've given over there. So before like, and so we want to know now, before starting the Indian Chamber of International Business, you have your own company. So we want to know what has been the journey and how you've started this company that you're currently in, and what has the journey been like?
Okay, so I think I'm one of the people born with a silver, golden spoon, or whatever you might
Okay.
call it. So we've had a family business since a long time. So in spite of the education and everything, my dad was very strict, and he's like, "You have to work on the shop floor. वो चपरासी के साथ बैठो. You should know what is coming inside the factory, what is going outside the factory. Then वो machine पे काम करो so that तुमको पता होना चाहिए कि तुम्हारा worker क्या करता है." So he's made me go through all those routines, and then
Okay.
finally, I think on the CEO's chair, तो आज तक मैं बैठा नहीं हूँ. To be very honest, it's
Okay.
always been a journey that has been that of being with the people whom you're working with and all that. So I don't remember I having a closed cabin and people saying, "May I come in, sir?" And in fact, the how I interact with people, the similar way I interact with our employees also. So it's more like an open door policy. Sometimes which
Okay.
is not good, to be very honest, but
No, no, I understand. We dealt with that.
so that's how it works. But then, it's been a great journey, if you ask me. Right from
Okay.
joining the family business. In fact, I took the family business global. So we started with the exports, and we got foreign collaborations, and we enhanced it, and we took it to the next level and all that. And then I slowly and steadily got associated with a lot of associations because of business. I mean, that's how it comes across. You want to engage with more people, you want to network with more people. So network was the key thing that drove me actually to more of an
Okay.
international thing. So I love making people, I love making friends, I love traveling. So that's what got me more and more talking to people across boundaries and across geographies. So that was something very interesting. Then came an opportunity where we were part of Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, and so slowly, I said, okay, let's do something. Let's bring some foreigners here. Let's take our delegation there. So that was like a lot of support from that organization in my life. So Maharashtra Chamber
Okay.
of Commerce has done a lot, and that's the epic chamber of the state, and they gave me a platform and a lot of support also, no doubt. In fact, the government of Maharashtra also supported a lot. So then, going on slowly, then the Indian Chamber of International Business happened. They said, "Oh, you're doing great with the state of Maharashtra and the people and the organization. Why don't you join us and support this organization? It's a national body, it's a global body." So I was very apprehensive. I was like, I'm sitting in a city like Bombay. What have I got to do with the 42 countries? There's nothing I can give, to be very honest. But then
Right.
they mentored me quite a bit. The board of directors, they're all today 75 plus, wealth of experience with all of them. So it was a very much a learning curve of the last 5 years that I've been, or 7 years that I've been with this organization. And it got me to learn a lot about different cultures. I mean, I would have never thought I would have been talking with people from South America and CIS countries, and I traveled to Uzbekistan and all these
Okay.
places. So it was amazing, and it's all thanks to the ICIB, or Indian Chamber of International Business. So, and we've been working with global organizations, aid organizations like USAID, CLDP. I mean, the kind of learning that has come through this organization is amazing. So yes, definitely, it's been an amazing journey that this thing it's been bringing to me. It's not only brought but also bringing. It's every day I get to learn something new.
All right. So we just give us a little bit more in depth, exactly like what does your company do, and how did you like take it global? We want to just understand a little bit of that part.
Okay. So, well, what do we do exactly? So, for example, a small company comes up to us. So, I'll start from there are various levels where small and medium companies are. So, some might be just wanting to start an export business. Some might have been running a business and then they were just saying that, okay, now it's time for me to go to other countries. Some might have been already exporting and they said that, oh, we want to grow more. Some might be like 100 crore turnover, already having exports in 20 countries, and then they come to us also. They're like, what more we can do? So it's a stage-wise process. So we have something for everyone. That's the best part.
Okay.
So, for example, if somebody comes to us out of college, and then they say that I want to start an export business. So the first thing we do is we mentor him, like, why do you want to do that? Are you suitable for that? And then because what we try to see if the person is dedicated or not. Everybody wants to do business. There's nothing wrong in that. But will you be able to stick to it for the next 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years? That is most important. Business doesn't suit all. Sometimes it's better to go for a job because people come and I'll give you a practical example. People come and ask me that, oh, can you give us a customer or which will give us guaranteed payment, or we are looking for a sector which is safe business. Well, business is not
Right.
safe. It's
It's
risky.
not safe. It is very risky, definitely.
Risky. So if you want a safe business, go take a job. Simple.
Right.
I mean, that's what we guide people according to that.
No, definitely. And the thing is, right now, like the thing what you just said, if you want a business is not for everyone, like you're a very few of those people who've actually said that out publicly, because normally everyone like, who comes out of college and everyone wants to become an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to start their business. But no one actually understands that it takes time, it takes efforts, it takes energy. I mean, there are going to be failures with it. But it's very, very beautifully said by you that if it doesn't, better take a job. You'll get security with it.
And
That is it.
Mansoor,
Yeah.
you mentioned clearly, you mentioned the topic about failure. I talk about
Yeah.
a lot about failure because you know what? I'll give you an example. You are bound to fail. Everybody fails. Everybody will fail. You talk about school, college, jobs, business, transactions, anything. It is not
Yes.
possible that you will have 100% strike rate. So, when we talk to people, we tell them that, boss, you've been listening to something since childhood, that failure is a stepping stone to success. Don't forget
Go
that.
through. Yes, yes,
You will
completely.
have to go through it and you will learn how to handle it. But don't say that, oh, I will never do this business again because I've failed. It's a learning curve. You're bound to fail. The system is such that you have to fail to learn.
Definitely, yes.
And Mansoor, I'll tell you one thing.
Yes.
People tell me that you have to learn from others' experiences. I'm telling you, if you're walking on the road, there is a khadda on the road, you tell somebody, "Arey khadda hai, gir jayega." He's like, "Hut." Until he does that himself and he falls in that pit, he will not realize there is a khadda. He won't listen to you. He'll say, "No, man, I
Definitely,
will
no
go
one
from
will.
the side. I will jump over it." He might give 1,000 reasons, but he will fall.
He will definitely fall. Yeah.
But most important thing is you have to get up after that fall. So failing is not a problem. Falling is not a problem. But you should have the courage and the patience to get up again. That is most important. And when
See,
you
when
talk
we
about, yeah, tell me that.
Yeah, so I just want to know. So, like when we talk about fail, like when you tell people like there's like khadda hai wahan pe, gir jaoge, gir jao. So I want to understand something over here. Okay, this is like a very like a professional thing you could call it because I have faced this in my life with many people I've interacted with. So you have something which is like arrogance, and there is something with overconfidence. So how would you define that when it comes to a professional part of life, or for something like that?
So one sentence that I tell everybody, who have been facing continuous failures. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell, in fact, if you failed 2 or 3 times, so either you're doing things wrong or you're doing the right things differently.
Okay.
So you need to find out that where you're stuck. Is it that you're not destined for that? Sometimes destiny does play a role. It's like whatever you do, nothing will happen. So going ahead in life also means knowing when to stop. That is
It's
one
so
of the
true.
most
Yes.
important things. So if you've tried something, 10 different things 10 times and failed, that's fine. But that also means you're not consistent. You didn't try the same thing even twice. So, but if you've tried the same thing again and again, 6 times, 7 times, and you've repeatedly failed, you should let it go. Then you should do it differently or you take up completely different things. So when you're talking about arrogance, that is when that comes in. When you're like, अरे मैं तो ये करते ही रहूंगा चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. And I have seen लोगों के घर बिक गए, फैक्ट्रियां बिक
Okay.
गई, just because of ego saying that कि नहीं, I have run this business for 40 years, 50 years, I know I can do this. But you have to,
Okay.
they don't even listen to their children. I'm talking about typical family businesses. So
Okay.
they have been in, the people that, that they put the bricks of the factories with their own hand. So when you try to explain to them in the next, today's times have changed. So it's
Definitely.
everything is connected, everything online, social media. So these children of the next generation, they come and say, "Oh, we need an Instagram for our product," and they're like, "भाग यहाँ से. हमने 50 साल से यही किया, हमको पता है हमने क्या करना है." So sales start going down, the competition catches up, and then you don't realize that you're not listening to anybody. You are becoming arrogant, and then such businesses die out. And then the son or the daughter takes up a job, and then in spite of having everything, they lose it all. So this is where you talk about arrogance, and that is
Right.
what you should realize. But it is very rare that people do realize that they are arrogant. Otherwise they would have never been arrogant in the first place.
That's a fact. So true.
So if somebody goes and tells them, "Bhai, tu galat hai," and you realize, "Ha, I am wrong. Acha, theek hai," and you move on. But you say, "No, I am right. I know I am right." So if you keep on saying you're right maybe for yourself, but not for everybody else. So that is something that you need to realize. That is when the arrogance has to be let go. And it is time for you to sit down with people around you, your family, friends, and well-wishers, and try to reason yourself out. That makes a lot of difference.
That's been nicely said, sir. Nice. Okay, continuing with the questions. So, as we know that Indian Chamber of International Business supports micro, small, medium companies to grow. That's written very boldly on your LinkedIn profile. So, I just want to understand what kind of support do you provide for such companies?
Well, lots of things actually. So, for example,
So, if you could summarize a few, yeah.
Yeah. So, what we do is basically, if you want to grow to a certain country, okay, so then we say that, okay, we will find you a partner in that country. We will take you hand-holding. We will organize a delegation there. We will try to bring a delegation from there that you can help your business. We have more than 400 partner organizations across the world. So what we do is we bring those chambers on board. We bring our members on board. You have a 2-minute introduction, 3-minute introduction, exchange contacts, and they are on your own. So that is the basic introductions that we do. Then we take, as part of delegations abroad, we have government interactions, we have policies. Now, the biggest problem that MSME companies face in India is not being aware of the government schemes. There's a lot of schemes available. More than 100 schemes are there. But how many do we know? I mean, even if you want to export, the government of India used to give an interest subversion scheme, 2%, 3% less rate of interest on your existing banking arrangement. I mean, nobody knew that. So a lot of such schemes are there. You can go to the MSME website. There's a booklet that's been published. In fact, 2 years back, our chamber published a booklet just to make people aware in simple terms, because government websites are really complicated. When you go to search something, you might not be able to find it. So we made a booklet. In fact, when the government came out with a booklet, we started circulating that booklet because people used to say, "Arey, kahan pe hai, mil nahi raha." So then we used to actually download it. We used to send it by mail, WhatsApp, and all that. See what you can benefit. Then we work with government companies like NSIC, which is National Small Industries Corporation. They have so many schemes. We bring them on board. We interact with our members. We say, "Hey, now you're face to face. Ask them what schemes they have. See how the government can support you." But all that being said, as long as the intention is there for you to work, only then such things work. Because a lot of people come, have lunch, dinner, and they go. And raat gayi, baat gayi. I mean, that's okay. That's fine.
So have you dealt with any of these people? Have you dealt with
I have
anyone?
done that myself. I have done that myself. So that is why, been there, done that, what people are. So, I told you, I used to love networking. So that time, my business was on its own, running on its own, not much intervention needed, growing exponentially. This was about 2 decades ago or something like that. And then I was like, what to do? Chalo, let's go to all these events and activities, all these chambers, and go and just meet everybody, have lunch, and come back. Nothing else to do. No intention of using any government scheme, no intention of taking a photograph. बस जाके खाली मिल के चलो भाई आज दोपहर को टाइम पास करना चलो खा के So I have done that. People don't
Okay.
admit it. People don't admit
Right,
it, but
right.
at least I do.
Yeah,
So that
that's
is
a
it.
fact. You have admitted
Yeah.
it. That's right.
But that is why, I always say, been there, done that. All the possible mistakes that you can think of, I've already done them.
Okay.
So that is what, but you know what, I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
We are happy to have such people with us. Because what
Mhm.
happens is, I'll tell you what, there are multiple reasons for doing that.
Mhm.
One is networking. Some people love to talk. And they might have certain issues in the factories and the homes and all that. They don't get to outlet, they don't get to talk. Like I said, we are more people to people. Business and all theek hai, but you have to understand what you can do for humanity in your small position.
Right.
If you can speak to 5 people who feel nice by just talking, what's wrong in that?
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with it. Definitely.
There are some people who just want to come and talk about what's wrong with the world,
Yeah.
but nobody listens to them. So they are like, okay, so let's find somebody to talk to. So we listen
Right.
to them.
It's like everybody wants to be heard. Basically,
Yeah,
वही fun
that's
है.
true. That's true. That's true. And you know what? There are many companies or organizations or even chambers that come to us. They say, we want to put certain things out to the government. Okay, bhai, for the
Okay.
industry, for the policy. I said, write to them. I said, नहीं नहीं हम लिखेंगे तो कौन सुनेगा? I said, that's
Mhm.
not the point. If you write, only then you will know somebody is hearing you or not. तो मतलब लिखो तो सही. So we
Right.
guide these organizations. We tell these people, अच्छा हमारे को लिख के दे दो, हम अपने आप करते हैं. So sometimes, like you rightly said, it's all about being heard. And there's somebody other always listening. We remember that always. हमेशा कोई ना कोई कहीं ना कहीं सुनता है. So we are
Right.
that people who listen wherever you might be, anywhere in the world you might be. We are happy to listen.
That's them. So just to add on to that, so like हर कोई सुनता है और हर कोई देखता है. Like this is the very like thing, like when we were kids, when we used to like, we used to have shops and everything, we used to rob candies and everything from the shopkeeper and everything. And I used to bring home like these whole chocolates. So we're like children, we don't know what's right, wrong during that times. My
I
grandmom
still do
used to
that.
always, yeah, my grandmom used to always give me this line, हर कोई देख रहा है, देख रहा है, देख रहा है. And we never realized it till we got caught. And the shopkeeper's like wife and all had a house above. So every time she used to see us taking the chocolates off. And I never knew this, but my grandmom used to then later in the night go and pay for that chocolates back. So it's
That's
like
true.
har koi
That's
sunta hai and har koi dekhta hai. That's something like very it's a fact actually. Okay, Mr. Manpreet, so we want to know one more thing. Like which other global partners have you like partnered with? Global chambers that you have partnered with for this association?
See, ICIB has partnered with more than 400 organizations.
Okay.
And not only private ones, we work with a lot of government agencies also, like, for example, USAID, CLDP, these are US organizations. We worked with some UN organizations once in a while. So these are the things that have given us a lot of opportunities for our members also. Like, for
Okay.
example, we used to work a lot in Afghanistan once upon a time.
All right.
Yeah, so we used to support the small and medium companies of Afghanistan, train them on how to do export documentation, and find them partners in India to work with them for import and export both. So that is the
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing that we've been doing across the world.
Okay.
So, like South America, for example, we work with the South American organizations and the Chamber of Commerce's, and then we bring them on board to interact with our members. We interact with most of the embassies in India, of course, and
Okay.
quite a few of the Indian embassies abroad, and they also support us. Thankfully, I think our biggest brand ambassador is Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Okay.
Whatever said and done, whether he is the
Right,
biggest
right.
brand ambassador. 20 years back, I used to go to Egypt or something, and people used to say, oh, where are you from? Today,
Mm-hmm.
anywhere I go, the moment you say India, they're like, oh my God, you're from the land of yoga and Ayurveda and all that stuff. I mean, the next thing I tell them is, do you want to import anything from Ayurveda or yoga or anything? I have people who can do that. So
Okay.
that's like your brand ambassador, I would say, but depends how you encash it. That is one of the most important thing. See, everybody does something and some right and something wrong. So it doesn't matter.
That's
Positives.
right.
You
You
pick
have to
up the
keep up with the
positives of
positive.
life.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And there are some good things in the world that happen. So, people say, oh, Russia attacked Ukraine and this and that. And what do we
Mm-hmm.
do now? I said, that is the biggest opportunity that you can get.
Right.
A war-torn region is the biggest opportunity to make money. I mean, I'm saying it out aloud. I mean, there are countries like US who do it quietly. Sorry, no offense to the country, but
Mm-hmm.
the people do it. but they don't admit it. They don't say it out loud. But there's nothing wrong. Business is business at the end of the day. So opportunity is everything. You have to just keep your eyes in yourself.
That's true. So we want to know one more thing on this part is that have you like created any kind of events or any kind of responses for the Indian Chambers of International Business in the year 2022? Have you like created any kind of events?
Yeah, we do actually one virtual event every month because we are having members across boundaries also. Of course, even in India also, we are having so many members in the northeast region of India.
Okay.
So we are having in South India, we are having in UAE, we are having in Afghanistan, we are having members across UK for that. So we have one virtual event every month where we encourage everybody to join, so that everybody gets some kind of an opportunity. You know, everybody cannot attend a physical event. Like there are some cities where we have only 2 members. So what can 2 members do other than interact with each other? So this opportunity we give everybody. If you have a virtual event, we'll have one chamber from across the world or from across the country, and you can showcase your product and services. And then we have physical events once every month, once in Mumbai, once in Delhi. So that is there, of course. So and we will continue.
All right. Yeah. Sorry to cut you out on that. So when you talk that you're having physical events in Mumbai and Delhi, so do you all have people from other countries also who show up to those events?
Yeah, we do that. In fact, we tie up with a lot of foreign embassies when they have their delegations coming in. So we plan our events in such a way that it coincides, so that you get a bigger opportunity.
Okay.
So and then for example, there are some of our foreign members also that are visiting India. For example, we have like an interactive meeting. There's somebody coming from UK. Okay, he's going to be visiting these 2-3 cities. Why don't you all go and meet this person or this organization and you interact with each other? So something comes out of it.
So basically, like y'all are the meeting setters also. Like हम लोग आपको मिला देंगे, आपका कुछ काम हो जाएगा.
हम आपका हाथ लेते हैं, दूसरे का हाथ लेते हैं, शेक हैंड करा देते हैं. बाद में आपको पंजा लड़ाओ या मुक्का मारो, that's your wish.
No, that's a very good thing on that. So do we have any memberships or available for like joining the Indian Chambers of Business?
Yeah, of course. We have like paid memberships like any other organization. So we have like a basic one, which is like 10,000 rupees per annum. Then we have life membership, patron memberships, and all these things. But then we also have something for non-members also, because how do you put yourself out to the world? So we invite everybody to open events. You're more than welcome to come interact, because as an organization, our role is not only to ensure that 10 of your members meet each other, but you should know people outside also. So we invite other organizations, people who are not members with anybody, who want to do business. You come, you work with us. At the end of the day, everybody benefits. So that is also there. And then we have some special schemes once in a while. Like during the first COVID, we had everybody faced a problem, especially SMEs and all that. So what we did was we got a special scheme, 5-year membership at 5,000 rupees.
Okay.
So we are like lay low types. But you will be surprised. After all that publicity and everything, only one membership came from that scheme. And till date, only under our normal schemes, people take up 10,000 rupees per annum. I don't know why. I really fail to understand.
But like, so like when you're giving them like, countless, I mean, you could say like, you're giving them all these offers and everything, but why do you think it's happening like for that matter? Like only like just 1 or 2 people come and take it.
See, normally in our offers, we have seen that very few people take up.
Okay.
I really fail to understand that. We've done a lot of introspection. So we stopped giving offers anymore. So in the last 10 years, we introspected about the last 10 years. And, not even 1% of our membership has taken the offers.
Okay.
And I asked some of our members also, "Arey, एक चीज मैं तुमको 5,000 में दे रहा था, तुमने 50,000 क्यों दिए?" So I genuinely asked this to people, but they said that the moment we paid you 50,000, we knew that we are going to earn 5 lakhs out of it.
Okay.
So because the moment you pitched 5,000 to us, we were like, something is wrong. But anyways.
Actually, it's even the mentality, right? Like for us also, like when we go to buy anything, we find it a little bit like if it's for like a discounted price. Back in our mind, we have that analytical Indian mind going behind. नहीं कुछ तो झोल रहेगा, कुछ है लोग इतने सस्ते में क्यों बेच रहे, I think that could also be one of
the. I think वही है. Because जब भी हम लोग membership rates कम किए ना, we have seen this across the last decade. Whenever we have reduced membership fees, our membership figures have fallen instead of growing. So like weird, yeah.
No,
So
I
we
complete. Yeah, continue, say, tell me. So,
but you know what, we have to do a job. Like for example, I give the example of COVID. So
uh-huh.
I mean, if you're having a problem and all that, and you want to sit at home, and you want to join these virtual meetings with actual buyers and sellers and all that. I mean, if you don't have 10,000 rupees per annum, अरे 5 साल का 5,000 मिले, 1,000 rupees is nothing. You go and have lunch, it's that much.
खत्म हो
But
जाए.
but हमारी responsibility है कि हम ये offer दें. People
Right.
taking it or not is not my. So we will always keep on giving it. We will always keep on giving opportunities. It's up to people to find value. हाँ, जितने ज्यादा पैसे देते हैं उतना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का बेनिफिट होता है, goes without saying.
Obviously, वो तो है. So, but like, what are the benefits does one get once they join this community, and like, कैसे क्या होता है membership लेने के बाद? What are the advantages and benefits like each person can get? So, like, if someone is watching this on YouTube after that and he wants to join the community, तो क्या benefits मिलेगा उनको?
See, the biggest advantage, if you say, is you get access to all these international chambers, which can be, जैसे हमारे यहाँ पे भी होता है ना कि some state chamber होता है, city chamber होता है, sector organization होता है. So similar things happen across the world. So we work with US, UK, Africa, South America. So you get opportunities in all these places. Then our chamber gives you opportunities which are non-conventional. Because we have seen कि भाई US, UK, यूरोप में कोई export कर रहा है तो 5-5 सेंट, एक सेंट के लिए भी लड़ता है. But we tell them that go to South America, go to Africa, go to Southeast Asia. Very few people look at Southeast Asia. Biggest advantage I tell you, China. हम लोग assume कर लेते हैं कि भाई China is exporting to the world. They are the largest importer or high fashion products and expensive products. We don't even think about exporting to China. So these are the opportunities that our members get, which are non-conventional, which give you money at the end of the day. खाली गधा मजदूरी करके business करना is not smart business.
Right.
You have to be smart and generate value for yourself. So these are the kind of opportunities that we give. Then we, of course, when we take our delegations abroad, I mean, we are cheaper than any travel agent. Goes without saying. So because we take from, हम लोग तो सीधा ऐसे ही बोलते हैं, भाई तुम्हारे हमारे ये delegation जा रहा है, उसका ये rate है. तो then they are like, अरे ये included नहीं है, ये है, ऐसा नहीं है. मतलब भाई किधर भी ले जाए इंडिया में, कोई भी travel agent इससे सस्ता देगा ना तो मेरे पास आ जाओ. So
like
अगर
open
घूमने
channel.
भी जाना है तो भी आ जाओ साथ में. It's as simple as that. So, because you know what, like I said, we are people to people. The moment we take you, we are not taking you only for business. We take you abroad to show you their culture. We arrange your B2B meetings. It is not just like वहाँ गए और इसमें एक exhibition में घूम के आ गए. It is not that. We arrange the B2B meetings for you. We arrange some factory visits for you. We arrange industrial zone visits. So you know, it's a learning process. अभी हम लोग चाइना गए थे तो हमने इंडियंस को चाइनीज फैक्ट्रीज दिखाई थी. Then one person realized, अरे मेरे पास सेम मशीन है, तेरी प्रोडक्शन कितनी निकलती है? बोलते 300 पीस पर डे. वो खड़ा हुआ उधर 3,000 पीस पर शिफ्ट निकाल रहा है. So that was a shocking thing for him. So he said कि भाई वही मशीन है. तो then he realized it is the person that makes the difference. Then he realized कि भाई यहाँ का जो वर्कर है वो आएगा, 1 घंटा लेट आएगा, फिर सुसु करने जाएगा, फिर खाना खाने जाएगा, and all these things. And here in China, the people are sitting like robots and doing like this. That's how they're working. One piece remove, one piece out. 8 hours he's not moving from that place. And if he wants to move, this is a learning experience for us also across the industry. If he wants to go for a break, it is allowed. He can take a break as a. वहां पे ना 2 आदमी पूरे शॉप फ्लोर पे खाली बैठते कुछ काम नहीं करते. They are called relievers.
Okay.
So if you want to take a break, you call a reliever. वो आएगा तुम्हारी जगह बैठेगा, तुम जाओ. So everybody can take a break whenever they want. But the production does not suffer. तो मैंने this guy asked him कि भाई आपका वो जो रिलीवर की पगार कौन देता है and all that. So he said, you have answered your own question. So he said, you are removing 300 pieces, I am removing 3,000. You see in 1 month how much additional production I'm getting and the cost of 2 labor. Okay. So you know, these are learning experience that our members get when they are traveling abroad with us. So of course these are the interactions. Then whenever there is a foreign delegation coming in, then we have got a lot of these reports. You know, Ministry of External Affairs publishes a lot of reports which give you a lot of data that we have in our chamber. We are having access to. We circulate with all our members in a particular country. क्या import हो रहा है, क्या export हो रहा है, trade inquiries किसकी आ रही हैं, किस product की आ रही है, उसका HS code क्या है, what is the possibilities, what is the inquiries that the Indian missions are getting the product. So these are the information which are limited access, and we share it with our members, and this is what your biggest advantage is.
Okay. No, that's very deepful insight. So like whoever was interested to become a member, surely do connect with Mr. Manpreet Singh. All right. So now we want to know, this is one more thing. Okay. So what would you suggest for anyone who's like starting new companies, or, you know, any entrepreneur who's planning like, ठीक है मुझे अभी मेरा company खोलना है, business में जाना है, चीजें करना है. So how like, see, because at the end कैसा हो जाता है, like this is from personal experience. When anyone like starts from opening a company, you tell them you have to go and join a chambers or an association. Back in their mind, they always have that fright कि भाई हमारे खुद के वांदे चल रहे हैं यहाँ पे कंपनी में डालने के लिए, हम दूसरी जगह क्यों जाए, क्या है. So what would be your suggestion for someone in like who wants to be prominent and successful in like opening a company? What are the step-by-step things that you would suggest them?
First of all, I will personally tell you, don't go to any chamber, bhai, please.
All right.
If you're just starting, don't do that. You
Okay.
rather search for events so that these chambers are doing for free or charging 500 rupees, 1000 rupees for their event. Go event and see what they do.
Okay.
Don't take up membership just because somebody told you. In fact, in our chamber also, when somebody comes for membership, ना हमारे फॉर्म में लिखा हुआ है referred by. इसलिए पहले हम बोलते हैं कि भाई तू किससे जानता है, तेरे को ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बारे में पता क्या है, फिर बात कर. Then second thing is उसको मैं personally call करता हूँ, भाई क्यों चाहिए membership. So the moment somebody says नहीं है भाई, अच्छा फिर ठीक है, because मतलब he is not expecting something.
Right.
But the moment somebody says कि नहीं, this is the things that I'm expecting. I want to have a network. I want to have exports. I want to have information on how to export. I want to know about documentation. Then we say, हाँ ठीक है, this is the right place to come. So then we mentor them properly and we help them also. So these are the things that really make a difference. And when somebody wants to start a company, to answer your specific question, देखो मेरा पर्सनल एडवाइस, अब मैंने बड़ी कंपनियां चालू भी की हैं, बंद भी की हैं, प्रॉफिट भी किया है, नुकसान भी किया है, ठीक है. सो लाइक आई सेड, बीन देयर डन दैट. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, यू नो, आजकल आपके बैंक्स और आपके वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट ये सब बोलते हैं प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी बनाना, बाद में हमारे पास आना फंडिंग. एंड वी सी ऑल दीज यूनिकॉर्न्स, $1 billion यूनिकॉर्न. अरे मैं तो कल बन जाने वाला हूँ बिल गेट्स. You know, don't over expect that. Bill Gates भी गैरेज में काम करता था, आज देखो कहाँ है. अरे it took 40 years to reach there, Baba. It's not happening overnight. When somebody comes and tells me, oh, see Nike 4,000 crores. I said, easy come, easy go. So, so if you have to sustain, so you have to look at your capabilities. You know, somebody wants to start a company के भाई तुम अपने पर्सनल अकाउंट से, पर्सनल बैंक अकाउंट से छोटी मोटी ट्रेडिंग करो. Individuals can issue invoices. There's nothing wrong in that. You don't need to have a company to issue an invoice. You can issue an invoice from your personal name. 20 लाख तक का GST applicable नहीं है. Up to 20 lakhs if you are doing any sales, you do not need GST registration. To reach 20 lakhs for a new company generally takes a lot of time. So that is what you have to understand. कि भाई तुम पर्सनल नाम पे करो, 12-15 इनवॉइस करो, then you realize हाँ this is something that I want to do for the next 2, 5, 10 years. Then ठीक है, then you decide हाँ ठीक है, अब मैं कंपनी बना सकता हूँ क्योंकि मैंने 10-20 लोगों को बेचा है, मेरा प्रोडक्ट इनवॉइसिंग हुआ है. Now I want to give to bigger companies and it does not look nice to have a personal name on an invoice. I will have a company. उसके बाद you set up a proprietorship company. ठीक है, because as a proprietorship, I would suggest only if you do not want to take any loans, because your liability is your own. That is the biggest disadvantage of a proprietorship company कि तुम्हारा घर भी बिक जाएगा और अगर तुम्हारे पैसे पूरे नहीं है. So proprietorship का, if you want to work, take money, छोटे लेवल पे करना है, 10-20 लाख, 30 लाख, 40 लाख, 50 लाख करना है, that's fine for a proprietorship company. Do it from a proprietorship company. Then you realize that okay, अब मुझे बैंक से लोन लेने की जरूरत है to grow. I need 50 lakhs loan, 1 crore loan, and all these things. Then you set up a private limited firm. That is the time when you say कि हाँ ठीक है, I need funding. मैंने अपने funding exhaust कर दिया, मेरा अपना सारा पैसा लग गया है. But that is also the biggest mistake if you ask me. अगर आपके पास 5 लाख रुपए है और आपने सारा लगा दिया है और आप उसमें से कमा नहीं रहे हो, तो you are not fit for business. See, आपने 5 लाख लगाया, आपको वो 5 का 10 करना है. The intention of doing business is to grow.
Definitely, yes.
ठीक है, लेकिन अगर 5 लाख थे वो भी डुबा दिए, 10 लाख की टर्नओवर हो गई, कमाया कुछ नहीं, तो व्हाट्स द पॉइंट?
No point. Simple
तो
as
वो
that.
5 लाख के ऊपर तुम 50,000 प्रॉफिट करो, घर पे हस्बैंड या वाइफ को दे दो कि भाई ये ले तेरी पॉकेट मनी. If they are responsible, they will save it also, or you put it out in an FD. मतलब
Right.
make a profit and keep. See, पैसा लगा रहता है बिजनेस में, सबका लगा रहता है. That's fine.
Mhm.
But you have to start earning profits. हाँ, it is your choice to reinvest that profit in your business to grow further. And that is the best way to grow and not take external funding. External funding अब तब लो जब आपका tried and tested है, 2 साल हो गए, 3 साल हो गए, and now you really need to grow exponentially, then look for external funding. मतलब लोग मेरे को स्टार्टअप्स आके बोलते हैं सर हमारा स्टेक ले लो, हमारे को पैसा दे दो. मैं बोला भाई साहब 5 लाख देके 50% स्टेक ले लेगा, जब तेरी करंट ऑर्डर बुक ही 50 लाख है. व्हाई डू यू वांट टू डू दैट फॉर 5 लाख रुपीस? तू 50 लाख का बिजनेस करेगा, तेरा मिनिमम प्रॉफिट 10 लाख रुपए आ रहा है, तू 5 लाख के लिए 50% स्टेक क्यों दे रहा है? एंड देन देयर लाइक अरे हाँ वो तो हमने सोचा ही नहीं. So you should, this is what you need to realize कि जब कंपनी कब बनानी और कौन सी बनानी. So that is one of the most, these are my personal advices, these are not written rules or anything, but these have come from experience.
No, that's right. So it's completely like that's bang on the point to my question. You answered it very beautifully. I mean, when anyone is actually watching this part, they'll at least get the in-depth knowledge कि हाँ भाई ये करना चाहिए. But that's very beautiful. So, all right. So that was the journey for the professional part. Now I would like to invite Khushboo. She would like step forward and help you with the personal questions. All right. Over to you, Khushboo.
Thank you, Mansoor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mansoor sir. So it was great discussing how the academic and the professional life has been, sir, actually. But since you mentioned like you are an open book and a very colorful and a joyful person, so discussing it on a personal note, so besides work, how do you like to spend your free time?
I used to love to read.
So like what are the genres that you like to read, and like it's related to work or anything like that?
Well, to be very honest, I don't like those self-improvement books. मतलब वो everybody has just put in their whatever mistakes they have done and not improved, they have written in their books. So I
Okay, so
really
there
don't like
aren't
this.
suggestions.
No, so but you know what? I prefer to read fiction. It helps you
Fiction.
dream. It helps you imagine. It increases your creativity and your thought process. And
That's
and that is something that really does that. So that is something that I would love to suggest everybody. Read fiction. It really triggers your imagination.
exactly how things can be and everything.
Right.
So, and so like there's a lot of work pressure in your life currently, like working Monday to Sunday, or it's like a fixed job, Monday to Friday.
नहीं देखो ऐसा है कि मैं तो इसको neither I consider it as a job nor a liability or a responsibility. I am working 24/7. I love to do that, but I do not pick up work calls after 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Whatever happens, unless कुछ urgent है ठीक है भाई message कर दो. Let's talk tomorrow.
Okay.
COVID has taught me one thing, that family is also very important. It's not only just work.
So since you're saying that you're working 24/7, so how do you take up time for yourself? Like how do you spend your weekends or your time after 7:30?
Well, I try to spend time with my daughter. I try to take her out, although she doesn't like going out with me, but still I try to force her to do that. Because the next generation as well, they prefer to be on their own, on their gadgets, and that's how it is. And I was like, nahi, khelna chahiye like any other father does. There was a time where हमारे को लोग बोलते थे घर के अंदर घुसो और हम बाहर रहते थे, and now it is vice versa. हम बोलते हैं बाहर जाओ और वो घर पे रहते हैं.
That's so true, because there was a point of time when we were kids, and actually the 90s generation. So our parents literally had to scold us to get us back to home and then sit to study, in fact, even after 8 or 9. So that was the aura that thing.
True, very true. So I love to go out. I love to travel, actually. I love to meet people. I love to go to the beach or the mountains whenever I get the time.
So talking about traveling, sir, since you are a travel buff, so when your schedules are all like made for a foreign trip, for meetings or promotions or just for work purpose, So what is your like schedule, your personal schedule on that? Do you have a mark list or a checklist that I'm going to visit a new place, say for Egypt or America? So do you have any like a checklist for visiting the new locations over there as a tourist?
Yeah, I do that always. In fact, this I had learned very early when I had joined my family business and all that. So, we used to go to exhibitions abroad and all that. So, 3 दिन, 4 दिन. So, I used to go finish my work, come back, go finish my work, come back. And then I realized that I visited 12, 13 countries and not seen anything. So then I was like, oh my God, I should do this again. And then there was something I couldn't travel for 2, 3 years. And they're like, oh, let's go back to that place and not happening. So then I made it a point. So if I'm traveling for 3 days, I make it 4 and keep the last day just for sightseeing or going around. And in the evenings also, I try to make new friends at the places that I'm going. If it's an exhibition, then I try to speak to the locals there. And, I do like to go around and move around. And so no, none of my business trips are now complete without me having a local sightseeing.
That's amazing to hear, sir. So, apart from the number of countries you have visited till now, which was the best experience for you on a personal note and not a professional one?
Well, personally, actually, I've loved visiting all the places that I've been to because I've been to countries like one thing that we have to understand the picture that media gives you is very different from reality. The world is a good place. Forget about whatever things that we read or see in the media. Like I've visited countries like Syria, Iran, UK, Romania, and lovely places. When you talk about Southeast Asia, like Hong Kong, I've traveled to more than 49 countries, I think. So
That's great.
I mean, it's amazing. The world is a beautiful place, and there's so much to do. In fact, I'm like any other Indian, and I've seen more of places outside India than I've seen within India. So I would love to see my own country also, for that matter.
So now from your work schedule, you need to take out time and visit places in India as well.
Of course, I've started taking conscious effort to do that.
Because after COVID, the entire work culture has also shifted a lot. It has become remote. So even all the working professionals are getting opportunity to relax as well as travel and work at the same time.
That's very true. In fact, that is one of the reasons I love work from home. That lets me work from wherever I am.
Exactly. So a correct balance between work and life. So,
True.
sir, I want to know, like, you love to travel, you love to read. So, how were you as a kid? Were you always like this, or you were naughty? And like, how were you exactly as a student?
I don't know about the word part, but I'm still very naughty. And I used to be one of those outstanding students in class. जो सबसे पहले बाहर निकाला जाता था क्योंकि होमवर्क नहीं करता है लास्ट बेंच पे बैठा रहता था and I used to teachers used to tell me कुछ नहीं होने वाला तेरा लाइफ में so don't get demoralized by all those teachers by the way you end up in a good place so but yeah I've
That
always been very naughty.
because it happens. Even I am a student right now, so that happens. Although you're good in academics, but you cannot take out that the kid in you from yourself. So you are always bubbly and chubby like that.
But one thing
So
that I want to mention now
yes,
that
sir.
we've taken out this topic, people who have always been very studious, very studious, as in first rank throughout their life, kind of thing. They have made their life monotonous. See, you are on this
Exactly.
planet to live your life. They've become professors and all that. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, they've become learned scientists also. But I have seen that they don't have much of a personal life. They don't have much of seeing the world. But yes, they're contributing to the world in their own way. But I don't need those people around me, to be very honest. I mean, let them do what they're doing inside their labs or this thing. But when you're there, you're traveling, you meet people, you make two people happy, you feel happy.
That's true.
That's my personal view. I mean, nothing against scholars or studious people. I have always been an average student all my life. I've always been an average student, above average student. That's it. And that gave me more opportunity to pick up reading as a habit, picking up sports as a habit. So that is the reason I was like kind of an all-rounder. I used to play hockey, I used to play squash, I used to play tennis, I used to uh, go to my building and play kho and all these things also. These are the things that we've done.
The outdoor games that the children don't do these days.
True, and not even outdoor, indoor also. I mean, you call, I mean, chess, Ludo, Uno for that matter. it gives you thinking abilities. These games are there for a purpose. That is what I believe now after like so many years of my life. But
Exactly.
I still play. I mean, it's a lovely thing to do. I listen to music once in a while. Sometimes I listen to the same song on loop 100 times, and everybody's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, it's a nice background.
That's very important. Everyone should like take that lesson from you, that you have to be a all-rounder and not be very good in academics or very good at everything what you do. It's okay to be average and to do everything at your own pace, because it's not a competition. Because I heard somewhere someone saying that your work in life should be like, you're working and you don't have to take out time to live. Your work schedule should be like that you're living in that manner every day. You don't have to take out extra time to live your life. It shouldn't be
I
that
totally
pressurized.
totally
Exactly.
agree to that. I mean, you're supposed to live life. It's the journey that's important. We are all going to die.
That's true. So, sir, apart from like becoming this professional and everything, so what was your first job exactly before this?
I
The
won't
very
name the
first job in
company.
your life.
Okay, I won't name the company, but I joined a bank as a marketing head. Not marketing head. It was a new vertical, and they were supposed to come up with some kind of a tie-ups and all that. It was a new online thing, kind of. So I think 2 months, 2.5 months. Nice. I broke their domestic records in that city and all these things. Amazing. I used to love going to the banks and talking to people because lovely crowd you used to get those days. A nice private bank. And then I realized that okay, the first salary comes, the check comes, you deposit it, it bounces. You deposit another time, it bounces, and they're like, "What the hell? You worked for 2.5 months and no salary." And then
That's
finally you manage to get a little bit out of that, and then the bank says that no, it was the contractor. The contractor says no, it was the bank. So that was my first job and my first salary. So that's the story that goes with that. So don't be demoralized. But I took up the first thing that came along. It was not a very big salary. I think it was what, 3,500 or something like that. But my father had taught me something, that when he was in his college and he passed out, and he took the first job that he had got that time. And after 2 years, he met some of his colleagues who were waiting for the right opportunity, and they were nowhere in life, and they were still looking for the right opportunity. So my father taught me one thing, that pick up whatever is coming your way, enjoy it, do it thoroughly, and you will be much better off. And I did that, and I'm very happy about that. That taught me a lot very early in life, that okay, just don't go blindly, have your back, and that's how it works.
exactly. Even if the experience is worst or good, at least it will take you somewhere forward. At least you will not be going backward. That's
Very,
true.
very.
So that's a lot of struggles, sir, that you have been throughout. So, like, you have done multiple jobs and everything. So, how would you describe your struggle journey in brief?
Well, I wouldn't call it a struggle journey. I think it has been a good journey so far, right from right to the beginning till now. It has been a learning experience, even personally and professionally both. And I'm still learning. It's so much to learn, and the more globalized people you meet, your horizons change completely. So, for example, it doesn't matter anymore when two people are discussing their business and fighting for 5 cents and 10 cents. It's better to find a new customer rather than spend your headache on somebody who's not worth it. So you learn to move on. That has been the biggest learning from my struggles. It's not worth to spare your peace of mind on something trivial.
That's true. So, when you talk about, sir, moving on, but at least there will be at least like one point of time in your life, since you have mentioned all the mistakes that one can imagine, you have gone through that and done that. So, was there any point of time that you felt like that, no, I won't be able to do this, I just want to give up? So, what thoughts were there in your mind in that moment, and how did you overcame that?
Well, there was a time all bank accounts were empty, 18 rupees left in the pocket, no support from anywhere, ended up crying. And then finally, it was Ganpati Bappa Moria who got me out of it. It was like, I have seen one thing, prayers do get answered. So, been there, done that. Like I mentioned, there's all the possible mistakes that you
That's
can do, I've already done.
done
So,
that.
so those are the times when you really think and you realize that no, there's somebody who's taking care of you. So when you're really demoralized and you feel that this is the end of it and nothing more can happen, just pray. Trust me, it works.
That's one tip I think everyone should follow. And actually, if even if it does not take you somewhere, at least there's some belief that would an energy, that positive energy that would come to you.
Of course, it does make a lot of sense.
So since you mentioned the entire journey is a learning one, and there's so much more to learn and to gain and to see as well and travel. So have you have any plans, like when do you want to retire, and then what would you want to do after that, or
No
study or
retirement for me for
pursue?
sure. And while talking about studying, well, I still do some continuing education courses once in a while. And whatever said and done, I mean, online courses, offline courses, I do manage to do that even now, because refreshing your knowledge is one of the most important things that all of us should do. But yeah, retirement is not for me. Maybe I would take up teaching my grandchildren for that matter.
So that was the end of round for the personal questions we had for you, sir. Moving forward, so we have one fun, amazing rapid fire round for you right now.
Okay.
So it's about testing your knowledge. That's not related to exactly studies and academic and everything, just general knowledge. So
Sure.
the first
Very
question
bad at
that's
it.
coming, no, you would have to be rapid, fun, and probably you have to give the correct answers.
Okay.
So first question that's coming your way is that what are a group of lions called? Option A, flock. Option B, pride. Option C, streak.
Can you repeat the question?
What is a group of lions called? Option A, flock. Option B, pride. Option C, streak.
They leave a huge streak. Wherever they go, they leave a huge
They,
streak of wherever they've come from.
although that's a good interpretation, sir, but the correct answer is pride. It's known as a pride of lions.
Okay. So that's a learning experience for me. See, I told you life is all about learning.
That's true. And next question is, what is the national tree of India? Option A, red sandalwood. Option B, banyan. Option C,
Banyan.
gulmohar.
Banyan.
Totally correct. Correct.
I think we have.
And
I
third
can't.
coach, Indian match. Rohit Sharma.
You're cracking. Khushboo, you're cracking.
Khushbhoo, you're cracking. Your voice is cracking. Yeah.
Maybe this question I'm not supposed to answer, and the almighty forces are making her crack.
Maybe it could be that. Okay, I'll continue with that with the last one for you. Okay. Who's the current CEO of Infosys? Okay, is it Sahil Parekh, Rajesh Gopinath, or Terai Delpro?
The first one.
All right, Sahil Parekh. Okay, you're well versed with your GK, sir.
I try to keep it that way. Try.
Okay, before we end the session, sir, just last, I know we are under time constraints. I just want to ask you two questions on the personal front. Okay. So, sir, when we talk about the work-life balance, okay, particularly on work-life balance, when we talk now, as you are the president and everything, what is the one thing that you keep in mind when you have the work-life balance to set it for yourself?
I do whatever I want till the time I realize either my wife or my daughter comes and tells me कि बस हो गया अभी.
Okay.
So that is the time you realize you're crossing that line of the work-life balance.
Okay.
So that is what. But other than that, nothing. Generally I try to have like a mix of whenever I'm working. I try to take an hour off or a minute off or something like that. Try to have some fun with people around me. There have been times when I've been attending diplomatic events and I start cracking jokes and I was like, what the hell is he doing? But at the end of the day, all the ambassadors start doing the same thing. So, I mean, enjoy while it lasts.
Definitely. Okay. And the last question. Okay. So when you tell people you're a president of a particular association or you've done a company, so what is your take? Would you want people to take you in a serious manner or in a very fun, jokingly lovable manner?
There's a funny story to this. Okay. So,
okay.
When I had just become the president of this thing, so I'm like the very funny, joking type part and all that. So people never used to take me seriously, yeah. So then my wife is like, "Arey, the moment your beard becomes a little white, maybe they'll take you seriously." And I was like, "No, that doesn't work, yeah." So then I tried to thoda powder laga ke, I tried to that for a meeting and all that. I literally done that. So then they're like, okay, but still people are like, a little bit serious. Then I started wearing glasses so that you look a little older and sort of pada likha types and all that, so that people assume that you're a little more knowledgeable than you look. So been there, done that. Like I said, all the mistakes possible I've done and tried. But yeah, I do want to take people assume that I'm a very fun-loving, cool kind of a person. I'm not the serious type of president kind of thing.
Okay. So, but when you talk about like powder and everything, so how many meetings have you put that powder and you've gone like on your
Till
beard?
the time, till the time it became really sweaty and the powder came falling, and I realized that I am caught. That was the last day that I did it.
Okay. All right. Okay, we are just waiting in for Khushbhoo, and then she'll just say the vote of thanks, and then we sing. So, but it has really been a great experience, sir, with you.
No,
Really
no, no.
great.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me for this conversation.
All right. Yeah, Khushbhoo, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
you can
you.
come ahead
Sorry
and
for
give
the
the vote of thanks.
technical glitch.
No problem.
So
You can
this
come
is
and give.
what we all of us have learned. The
Yeah.
technical glitches are a new part of life.
Mhm.
So it's going to
It's
stay
true.
away whatever you want, whether you like it or you don't like it. They're going to stay.
That's correct. And it has become a part and parcel of everyday life, even while attending classes.
That is intentional. Tell me about it.
Sometimes that might be, but not always. Thank you so much, sir. And it was a really engaging conversation. Thank you so much, Mansoor sir, for coordinating everything. And thank you so much, sir, for taking out your valuable time and sharing your valuable insights on the do's and don'ts for the successful secrets of entrepreneurship. On not only that, even on personal level, your aura has been very positive and very energetic the entire time. I hope the viewers who are going to see this are really going to learn not only on professional basis and how things are to be done, but also how to carry themselves on everyday basis. So I guess the young startups and the SME entrepreneurs will gain a lot from this conversation, what we had just now. So thank you so much, sir. And
It's
we'll
my
see
pleasure.
everyone on the next coffee conversation.
Thank you so
Definitely.
much. Thanks, Mansoor. Thanks, Khushbhoo, for having me with you.
Thank you, Manpreet sir. Thank you, Khushbhoo. Okay, all of us went. Bye bye, guys. See you all in the next coffee conversation. And definitely another conversation with you too, Mr. Manpreet sir.
Anytime, anytime, anytime.
All right, take care. Bye bye.
Bye.